Mm-hmm.
What the hell was that?
I don't know what that was. I have no idea.
All right, this is First and Framerates episode 61. We're back another week. No breaking up of episodes, no people being late, nothing extra. And for the
no
most
fraudulent companies this week either.
yeah, we're kind of sidestepping the fraudulent companies, even though that there is some more information about them, but we're not going to touch on that today. Like I said, First and Framerates Podcast, episode 61. Myself, VF Baller, Bill's Fourth, DJ 81. All of our Twitter links are down in the description of the. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to us on YouTube, if not, iTunes or SoundCloud, you can catch us there. Bill's Fourth, DJ 81, myself, and VF Baller. That's our Twitter handles. Also, just share the podcast. Just we've been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of folks. A lot of people are coming in to listen more often and actually giving us feedback in the chat. It's just great stuff. We love you guys for that. And for the most part, we're just gonna keep going. Less drama, more stuff on the plate to talk about. Not to throw shade in any of our counterparts. I just hate to see it, but just a lot of stuff been going on, and that's why First and Framerates exists. We just handle who we don't like and just leave it there. If you're a dumbass, you're a dumbass. We're not gonna go back and forth. We don't have time for it. Anyway, Bills, what's been going on with you, man?
Well, wrapped up my fast, about to start another one. I was doing good up till pretty much today. Now I just kind of feel burnt out socializing wise. As an introvert, that's pretty much where I've gotten to this week, and yeah, I'm kind of burnt out. So it might be a bit low energy this podcast, but I'll try to keep the energy up.
Yeah, who you telling? If nobody noticed that my voice, I'm overcoming a cold right now. I've been taking medicine for the past 3 or 4 days. I missed work yesterday, so I'll be going in tomorrow, which was supposed to be my off day. But I mean, that's what happens when you got to make up time or whatever. I don't want to use any sick days if I don't have to, so I will be going to work tomorrow. But neither here nor there. DJ, how you been, man?
Yeah, things have been good. I guess I'm going to be speaking a lot, try to hold it down for the podcast because everybody's on the lowest energy. And I also want to take this time to announce that we do have a sponsor. We finally got one, and I already got the recording up and running. And here's their latest sponsor announcement.
Eat a stick. It's in your ass.
Man, you can't be making me laugh, man.
But you know what? At the same time, I also got an email from them that says, don't complain, just take it. So that was the follow-up to their new ad campaign. So yeah, we've got new sponsors. So
I'm not gonna lie. Wasn't that a model of a few Game Changers a few years ago? I'm not trying to be funny, but did they
no.
I know it was at least one that said that.
Oh wow.
Well, you know.
Yeah, but
nobody wants to.
But yeah, it seems like it's been.
I'm a Euro step past that one.
You mean the James Harden variety?
Well, within the legal bounds, I'm a Euro step.
No, it's so bad. I'm illegally doing that one. Anyway, the topics of the day: the American Alliance Football League. Is it finished? We have Gamestop losing a ton of money again. I want to talk about that as far as the company and physical copies of games. Bryce Harper debuts in Washington, and Washington fans are pretty much having their feelings in a pretzel about that. And we're going to talk about right, and we're going to talk about Porzingis, about this allegation of him supposedly raping someone just the same night that he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
I want to see how that happened, but nevertheless, let's talk about the AAF because we all had high praises for this league, even when everybody was talking about how bad the quality of football was. After week 3, it just picked up to the point where these guys was getting their footing. They were playing pretty good football. It was entertaining to watch. You saw some guys who was basically able to, get a second chance and show what they were worth. Some people just needed that extra jump start to do something with their career. What are you doing, DJ?
It accidentally came on. It just has a mind of its own.
No, it's all good.
Sorry.
It's all
Jeez.
good. I think you're really on DA's dick. But anyway.
No, I think Samsung's on EA's dick.
Well, that's another story for another day.
I think Prime's on EA's dick.
Well, that's that. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing about that.
I'm gonna Bradley Beal Eurostep through that.
No, I'm not gonna mess with Prime. Prime's all right. Anyway, with the AAF, like a lot of good football that's been going on the past 7-6 weeks. It was very entertaining to watch. They did realize that people were wanting to watch the games. They started putting them on national television for the most part. Some players actually shined. Like I said, the whole 9 yards. Easily, this league was on its way to take off as far as the quality of football on the field. We already knew about the money problems. We turn around, we realized that the NFL don't want to play nice with the AAF, don't want to use none of their players. And now we just see now that they just don't have any more money to continue to go on at all. We had one investor that lost. I think he lost like $250 million in the situation. And it's just unfortunate because I feel that at the end of the day, I think something that Bill said, the NFL is scared of this league and they didn't want to help because NFL making money hand over fist. They could easily help this league and actually be a branch between this league and their league. But it just seems like it's just going to fall by the wayside now. Bills, what are your thoughts about what's going on with this league?
It's just unfortunate, honestly. We touched on this last week when there was a possibility of this happening, and now that it actually has happened, it's just once again it's really unfortunate. I think jealousy plays a big role from the side of the NFL, which we all touched on last week. Also, sucks for the players. They spent a lot of time getting in shape for this league and put their heart and soul into the teams, and same with the coaches. So it's just really unfortunate all around, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I agree because there's a situation where football just falls off after the Super Bowl. Nobody gives a damn about the Pro Bowl. The Combine is just is a sideshow in my opinion. And you get all these pro days and you lead up to the draft. And after day one of the draft, nobody really cares unless you like a diehard looking for one of your favorite players to get drafted. So it's like a big gap between there. At least the AAF was there to give you extended football up until that time and possibly something more to talk about after the draft. It was just something that was there that could have helped everyone out to keep football alive throughout the year, and it gave you quality football to watch. DJ, what about your thoughts about the AAF?
I'm gonna have to agree with Bills, and I'm like, I even talked about the jealousy part aspect of the NFL looking at the AAF as competition, even though the AAF outright just said we're not your competition, trying to help supplement what you guys got going, because one, we're taking place during your guys' off season, and two, these are players that are coming off your either practice squads or players that were on the bubble. They're going to be playing basically almost year round. They're going to be in training. This ensures that these players are constantly in shape and ready to go by the time they possibly could get picked up during the NFL season. My other concern is, as far as the AAF, is who's controlling the money, because I think somebody's pocketing the money, because I can't seem to fathom where the money would go. CBS was supporting them as far as getting the games on their TV, TNT, stuff like that.
The NFL Network was helping them out. So how could they not help? How could they not help the AAF when they're putting their games on their station?
And see, but again, it goes back to who's the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, for those that don't know. Who's the CFO of the league, and where did the money go? that would be my number one question to the AAF is where'd the money go? Who's getting paid that was not getting paid, and why the league is not getting funded the way it's supposed to? Because before they even started the league, they were supposed to have all this figured out, and to run into it, what was it, week 4 or 5 they started having issues?
No, actually, it was week 1, but yeah, it just kept going.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. It was week 1, but still, it's just puzzling.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't understand somebody needs to do an investigation behind what's going on, because it something just don't seem right with all these guys who have a lot of these guys who have a lot of football knowledge and business knowledge in the AAF. I mean, you talking about guys who ran teams that was in the NFL, players that was in the NFL, coaches and stuff that was in the NFL. And you mean to tell me they can't get together to have a league that run longer than the XFL? I mean, something don't seem right here. And like I'm with both of you guys. I'm starting to believe that the NFL is jealous of them, and I think they saw it from week 1 when the hard hits and the instant replay was out there, and everybody was catching on and saying, "Hey, this is what the NFL needs," and the NFL is looking around like they don't know what to do, and instead of helping them because they may get more notoriety, it's kind of like they turned a blind eye to them, and it kind of sucks at the end of the day. Personally, I don't know what else to say about it. Hopefully we'll get them back. I don't know. And from where it looked like it's done.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't think it's anything gonna come about this, but the league is going to be finished. I mean, you had players that literally didn't even have money for the players to get back home after practice or after, or anything like that. It's kind of crazy. So, what are your final thoughts about AAF, Bills? You think they're done? You got any hopes for the XFL, or what are your thoughts?
Well, the XFL is going to be ass. As far as the AAF, I don't really have much hope, because they're going to need a big-time bailout at this point. Obviously, the Carolina owner was not enough. It just seems like something that is going to die off. Even if it's temporary, I don't think we'll see any more football this season.
Yeah, I think it's done. I mean, like I said, the guys can't even make their way back home after practice, so let alone that. I don't think there are going to be any games this week. What about you, DJ? AAF done. What you think about the XFL?
Yeah, the AAF is done. XFL, I'm not even thinking about. I think along with the players, also the employees of each of these individual franchises in this league are also going to be asked out. So we talk about the players and the management, but we don't talk about the people in the middle, the employees that are behind the scenes, the cameramen, the front office assistant, the
people who's running the facilities during the games.
Yes.
All right.
All those people are going to be without a job. So
right.
That's the part that I feel the most.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And then, like I said, Vince McMahon has all this money, but you're talking about a guy that we don't know who's behind him with his league against the AAF, who had all these guys who had some form of business and NFL knowledge. They couldn't survive. Now you're looking at Vince McMahon. I'm with you guys. I don't have any hope for the XFL. You got some people that's in this community just want them to thrive so 2K can make a game. So, but that's another story for another day. I don't have anything else to drop or with that. Which way y'all want to go with this? With the next topic, y'all want to talk about Harper, or y'all want to talk about GameStop?
I want to talk about Harper.
Okay, you can go ahead.
This one out the way.
Go ahead and take the lead.
I got a message for Nats fans.
Yeah, take the lead. Go ahead.
All right. So just yesterday evening, Bryce Harper returned to DC and he faced the Nats for the first time since becoming a free agent. So he's with the Philadelphia Phillies. And
wait a minute. I'm gonna let you start over. I just got a tweet that said the AAF players' contracts are immediately terminated, and there's no severance pay. The last paycheck was for last week's game. So yeah, the league is done. I just saw this tweet. Yeah, so the league is done. If all the contracts are done, that means they don't have anything.
And Johnny Manziel also tweeted about it before that last tweet. He was saying, I think that was actually, I don't think that was his exact tweet, but I remember he tweeted about it. It was like, look, that's it. So, yeah, that is crazy.
And I mean, the league has so much promise. That fucking sucks.
All right. So where I left off, Bryce Harper is now a Philly. That's a reality now. Nats fans, we need to get over it. Now, I was already over it a long time ago, but he debuted last night against the Nationals, went up against Max Scherzer. First two at bats were strikeouts. So it was actually relieving to see that those first two went well. But the next three at bats all reminded us why we should have signed Harper in the first place. Management being cheap. This man proceeds to, he gets a single his next at bat, and then his next at bat after that was a 2-run shot that he hits, in which the Phillies ran away with that game last night, and Harper had the last laugh, including a bat flip that angered a lot of Nats fans who remained for the game. Now, just earlier today, Bryce Harper had a good game, but the Nats still won. So I'm glad that we was able to split the series. But I think I was really disappointed in Nats fans as far as booing Bryce Harper, not necessarily during the game. You can boo him during the game. He's the enemy now. But when they're giving him a tribute, I was kind of shocked by that. I felt like that was very disrespectful for the Nats fans. And I know Nats fans were like, well, no, he signed with a division rival. How could he? He's a traitor. I'm like, no, he's a free agent.
You can go wherever you
want. Right. It was the Nationals management that sat there and was like, look, we're going to offer $300 million for your services, but we're going to defer at least $100 million until you're like, what? $100 million of that contract was probably going to be deferred up until he turned 36.
Right. And see, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of these baseball contracts, yeah, they're guaranteed, but a good bit of it is always usually on the back end.
Mm-hmm. So, and then on top of that, it's just like the writing was on the wall that Harper was going to go to a team who's not so heavy into analytics. I'm like, from the coaching, I'm like, when Dusty Baker, honestly, when Dusty Baker was let go by the Nationals, I knew that was Bryce Harper's time to jet.
Right.
So good for Bryce Harper. He's with the Philadelphia Phillies. I hate the Phillies. I still like Bryce Harper. And it's just one of those things where I was really disappointed in the fans' response before the game. During the game, perfectly fine. They were raining boos on him like we were in Philly. But in a way, if you think about it, it's kind of payback for when we took Jason Worth from Philly.
Okay.
So understanding the big picture here, we're even.
Yeah.
So, we got Philly with this series, the way it split was kind of, a small example of what that overall split was. We took Jason Worth from you guys, and you guys took Bryce Harper away from us.
Right.
Have fun. So,
I mean, my thing is, I just feel like I understand, especially in football. If something like this in football happens, I know I can understand like any fan base would be pissed off. You go to a division rival, that will suck. Baseball is a little bit on the back end as far as like not so rowdy fans, but I saw what some of these guys did, some of these fans did, and I thought it was a little bit over the top. They could have done a little bit better, but like I said, I do understand. I don't have much to say about it.
Let me address Pooh in the comment. First of all, y'all gave us D-Jax, and y'all took him from Tampa, so we didn't take D-Jax. He wasn't welcomed in Philly. Y'all pushed him out.
Yeah, especially your coach. The coach really did. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate, but that's sports at the end of the day. I mean, people say, "Oh, you're not classy," this, that, and the third. That's how fans are in with sports. Some of their favorite players go to another team, and it just them going to another team alone. Some people will really get pissed off about it, let alone a division rival. Bills, what are your thoughts about the situation?
I mean, it's just another case of some corny ass fans. To completely be honest, I mean, it's just it doesn't change no matter what organization it is. You have a player that left in free agency. The fans are gonna bitch and moan, and they're gonna get cooked by that player, and then they're gonna go home and say, "Shit, I wish Bryce Harper was still here." Well, shut the fuck up and respect what he did for all those years that he played with your franchise, because now y'all realize y'all are assed out. Okay, Bryce Harper left, and it wasn't y'all's fault. He didn't leave y'all high and dry the way y'all making it out to be. He didn't demand a trade. So it's absolutely ridiculous. They can boo and all that shit that they want. Guess what? They got kicked out of their own fucking stadium by Phillies fans. So fuck them. That's how I feel about it.
That's exactly what happened. I'm like, not only at the start of the game, but even towards the end when the Phillies were like just beating the dog shit out of the Nationals. It was just nothing but Philly fans in the stands.
I'm talking all that shit from the cheap seats, and you got kicked out of your own stadium by Phillies fans. Fucking Phillies fans. The Phillies have sucked for a decade. Are you serious? Y'all got kicked out of the stands by Philly fans after talking all that shit and booing and heckling. Yeah, I love it. It was like instant comeuppance for those clown ass fans.
And you know what's funny with Bryce Harper for that first at bat? I think he knew he needed to perform after the first two at bats because him and Scherzer still text each other. And he even said in his post-game comments, he was like, shoot, if I don't do nothing, this guy's going to be on me through text messaging for the rest of the season. So I need to do something. And he got that base hit off of Max, but that was it. I think that was the last time he faced Max in that game. But that two-run homer and that bat flip, yeah, that was like, fuck you guys in the stands. Thank you, Philly fans.
That's definitely what it was. I mean, the way I feel is simple. If one of these motherfuckers worked at a McDonald's, okay, and their manager was abusive as fuck, and they always had a fight inside the McDonald's, and they didn't get paid enough, and they wanted a new job, they wanted to upgrade their life, and they ended up going to work at AT&T, how would they feel if Bryce Harper walked into the AT&T and started throwing phones around, throwing phones at him? You don't work at McDonald's. You don't take my order for a quarter pounder anymore. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. People look at sports as if it's family. It's a job. It's a business. Because guess what? The Nationals, if Bryce Harper ever had a serious injury, would cut bait with him in a split second.
Yeah.
Marcus Lattimore, and this is kind of unrelated, but not really when you think about it. Marcus Lattimore had a scholarship to play football at South Carolina. His leg snapped in two, and they wanted nothing to do with him.
Yep. And that's one of the few guys from South Carolina I actually like watching playing football.
I mean,
I actually liked him. It sucks that he got hurt because I was scared as shit watching this guy run over the Georgia Bulldogs. And I was like, yo, this dude is the truth. Why he's not playing anywhere else? And when he broke his leg in Tennessee, I was like, oh my God.
That was really the last time that people brought up, well, Jadeveon Clowney too, but they brought up the whole, how you have to play 3 years in college.
Right. He the one that really started it because a lot of people saying that he could have came out as a freshman.
Yeah. And then Jadeveon Clowney, that situation happened. You had the Leonard Fournette situation. So, I mean, it's just that they only fuck with you when you sit there and take that abuse along with them. Misery loves company.
Put him in the game. Did Lattimore ever recover? No, he tried to play for the 49ers.
Yeah.
He tried to play for the 49ers, and he played maybe like 2 games. But it wasn't the fact that the knee never got back together. It was probably it's just that the nerves was so bad he couldn't run at full speed. So he
was never destined to be the same that he was. It was almost like Bo Jackson coming back from his hip injury and playing baseball.
I mean, everything he said everything was intact, but the nerves was just too bad for him to run at full speed. He couldn't do it no more.
Yeah.
So he's matter of fact, he's a consultant down here in Columbia for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He helps with the players and with training and stuff.
So he's a consultant for the chickens?
Pretty much. Yeah, so he's still here in Columbia. So I think that's cool that he found a spot to do something, but his career would have been like phenomenal if he actually was healthy.
He was a complete package. One of the best running back prospects I had seen in a long time.
Yeah, and I'm like, nobody but Steve Spurrier did that. Steve Spurrier pulled him because if any other coaches at South Carolina, he would not have went there. He would not have gone there.
I completely
No. I don't have anything else about Bryce Harper or whatever. Jump on this thing with GameStop. One topic I wanted to talk about because if people don't know, I guess you could say I collect games. I usually just buy games that I know I'm going to play. Most of my stuff is like original Xbox stuff, but I still have like 100 physical copies of PS4 games. I still have I only got like 6 Xbox One games, but all the other ones, PS3, PS2, I collect them for the most part. And with GameStop catching this loss of $673 million, writing's on the wall. I don't see them being around further, much more than what it is. And with that being said, physical copies of games are either going to be a premium or they're going to just go away altogether. Do any of you two guys still go to GameStop to buy games?
no.
Nope.
I don't really buy them either. If I wanted a physical copy of a game, I usually go to Amazon or especially the older games, I'll go to eBay or something like that. But I rarely go to GameStop at all. I don't. I love physical copies of games. It's my thing. I was going to do a separate video on this whole topic, which I may still do by the end of the week, because it's just something about having a copy of a game that you feel that you own compared to digital, where like you look at Drive Club now. I don't know how many people play Drive Club or whatever, but Drive Club is going to be gone by April. By the middle of April. Like completely gone. You can't buy it from the store. It's gone. All the DLC is going to be gone. Everything is going to be like out of here. And like what Put 'em in the Game says, nothing like having the box with the original art. Yeah, I love the case of a game. They don't do instruction manuals too much anymore. I think I got like maybe 2 or 3 PS4 games that actually have an instruction manual. And it sucks because those things was like it was very unique when you bought a game. So what are your thoughts, DJ, about GameStop losing all this money once again and the future of having game stores or whatever the case may be?
They've been on this downward trend for quite some time, and I know one of the things they had to do was narrow their focus as far as what they were doing. I know that originally they were also doing mobile phone sales, but apparently, according to this article, the selling of Spring, after the sale of Spring Mobile, which was one of their main diversifying items.
Right. I'm about to put the article up on the screen.
Right. So after the sale, they just said they were just going to focus on gaming and collectibles, which if people are not going to the brick and mortar stores anymore, which overall brick and mortar stores are going out or phasing out left and right. It doesn't matter if it's GameStop, Macy's, Sears, JCPenney, stuff like that. And even it was said, and that was one of the things that my former employer is taking advantage of. So it's one of those things where this was going to happen regardless of how much money GameStop lost.
If you look at the article, they said they've lost, like, they've been losing money since at least 2012. Like in 2012, They lost like $200 million or something like that.
Yeah, it's the overall prevalence of online shopping, online gaming, less physical copies. That's why when games release, you really don't hear much about the physical sales numbers anymore. And matter of fact, if you do hear about physical sales numbers, they are pretty low. And to some people's thinking, when they hear those numbers, they're like, "Oh, the game didn't do well." But they didn't tell you the digital sales numbers, which are probably going through the roof as far as that particular game. So
right.
Yeah,
I think that I'll get into the physical and digital stuff in a second. Bills, what are your thoughts?
I'm personally loving the slow death of GameStop, especially since every time you come in and want to trade something in, they treat you the way niggas up the street in the hood treat you when they try to buy something off of you. They buy it off you for $50 and go and sell it for $250. So fuck them, quite frankly. I haven't had a use for them in years. I don't like GameStop. they're a sleazy business, and I'm glad to see them going out of business. Honestly, I hope it would happen quicker. Honestly,
I mean, my thing is, I don't like GameStop business practices, but I love the actual game stores. Not GameStop stores, but just having a game store to go to. I like going to. It don't have to be GameStop. It could be Best Buy, your mom and pop shop. I love going to those stores, but I can't stand GameStop business practices. So I'm 100% with you on the fact that these guys are going out of business or whatever. I just can't. I can't deal with that. I don't like how they try to swindle people out of their money. But my thing is, with the way things are going now, I would believe that I don't think physical copies of games will go away. I think there will be more at a premium price. I'm a big advocate of, if everything goes digital, you go and have these companies still make physical copies of games, but instead of them being $60, I wouldn't mind them being $70 or maybe $80. Because you still have to pay for the artwork, you still have to pay for the case, and with that being said, give us an instruction manual. I don't have a problem paying that for a physical. To me, it's no different than, let's say, if you pay for a deluxe edition of a game. I don't see it no different than that. But see, that's me, and I'm the person that likes to put my games on a shelf. Somebody who just casually plays that may want a physical copy still, they're going to think that's robbery. But the way things are going, you look at CDs, you look at movies, you look at all this other stuff that was physical media, they're all going by the wayside now. So I'm more like, if you're going to do it, just sell it at a premium price, and the ones who are diehards, they're going to pay the extra $10 or $15. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, anybody in the chat, do they disagree with that? I mean, would you guys play a no,
I'm in the game with hashtag me too.
Look at that. P5 already said stop it with the 80 physical, but you got to understand, with the plight of things going all digital, just look at it now. The fact that you get games that are $60 now that are physical, all you're getting is a goddamn disc and some plastic. You may get the artwork of the cover, that's cool, but I'm a diehard. I don't mind paying the extra $10.
I'm not gonna lie, I might be in the wrong profession to suggest this, but I think they should start charging more for CDs too, because the production of that versus the payoff is definitely not. It's not worth it. I mean, because think about it, I don't even have a CD player in my fucking car. Right, so think about how much these companies are getting burnt making CDs. And people are just downloading the album on Google Play Music or iTunes. It's like y'all need to get charged for the fact that they're going out of their way to make something that's really
wait.
That's enough. Put them in the game.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get into this, because this is kind of funny. Since when we become First and Frame Rates the corporate edition?
Not corporate.
I mean, y'all two are sitting here saying, explain to people in the chat and the people who are listening that you guys need to pay for more because the company is getting burnt and blah 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 blah.
I'm not worried about it. I don't believe the company is getting burnt, but I'm just saying, if you're going to go all digital, I don't see a problem with making it physical like how we used to have it back in the day when we had our instruction manuals, had our real physical copies with everything that we used to have it. I don't have a problem paying extra money for that. I just don't.
I'll be the first to admit the motherfuckers buying my album should have to pay more. I don't care how people feel about it.
I'm saying, I mean, it doesn't. Or just like what Pete said, put the physical in the deluxe editions. Now the flip side of that, every game is not deluxe edition-esque. They don't make games for deluxe edition for every game. And put them in a game made another good point. Just make the digital copies cheaper and leave the physical copies at $60. I'm all for that.
The thing is, the issue is the reason why digital copies started in the first place was because of DLC. People were tired of typing in these stupid codes that came with the game, and then you would have to go to GameStop and make sure they gave you your code and all that bullshit. If you download it digitally, it automatically pops up. That's really where it first came from. Because remember, before that, people were buying physical copies before the days of DLC. Then once Call of Duty started putting out map packs, and you had to get it on your receipt and say, "Oh, check your receipt, it's on there." It's like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm done doing that.
Well, just to let everybody know, instruction manuals are still in existence. It's just you have to link to it, and it's a digital instruction
But
manual. So
you don't understand. I mean
what do you
that's
mean I don't understand?
no.
I'm right there with you guys as far as having the physical copies and stuff like that. But I'm not going to pay more, or I'm not going to sit here on this podcast and say, well, I'm willing to pay more. I understand that's your opinion, and I understand the explanation behind it. I'm like, that logically makes sense. But at the end of the day, I'm a consumer. I'm not paying more if you're going to give me less overall.
I don't care what the physical copies are.
And there you go. And just like, even if I don't pay more, I'm all for put them in the game set. Just make the digitals cheaper, because like B5 also said, digital is way less to make anyway. I mean, you look at games on Steam. Steam don't have to make their games $59.99. Those Steam keys are like maybe a couple of pennies to post on a link on a damn on a server.
Yeah.
So it costs nothing to make a digital copy of a game. You're just putting a link out to put files in it.
The way I look at it, if you're stuck behind the times, you should have to pay more than the people who aren't. Period. I'm sorry.
I'm one of those guys, and I'm proudly saying, and it's not because I give a damn about these companies or whatever. I just like physical copies. I don't care who do it, but if you're going to go out there and go out your way to give me a nice looking instruction manual with some good artwork about the game that I like, with the disc and something I can put on my shelf, I don't mind paying a couple more bucks for that. That's work. Either that or just make digital copies cheaper. I'm there either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't care whether physical copies exist or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. I have no use for them. I do feel like people who pay for digital copies, if people start to make physical copies such a big deal again, then they need to pay a different price.
My thing is the people who are paying people who are paying digital copies at the same price of a physical copy is getting robbed.
Exactly.
That's how I feel.
You said I'm starting to say.
You know what? I'm not. I saw that too.
All I'm gonna say is you're lucky I'm low energy today, fam.
I saw that too. I
was yo, Fife. You're lucky I'm low energy today, fam. You're lucky.
How long do you guys think GameStop going to be around after this? I mean, they lost $200 million back in 2012. I think they lost another $400 million in 2017 or 2018, and then they lost to $600 million. And I think they've been losing money ever between 2012 and 2018. So it's just, how long you guys think they're going to be around?
I hope they close down at 8:00 tonight.
Give everybody their last paychecks like the AAF.
Oh,
give them one used game for free. Go and take that Burnout Paradise, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. I am here for it. When they shut down and they have these going out of business sales, my ass is gonna be up in there. I'm gonna be snatching.
I just was about to say that, because the last time they had one of those type of sales, everybody pretty much gave them on that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's how I got my PS4 Pro, because I took advantage of the huge trade-in deals that they had at the time. So I was just like, if they had one of those fire sales,
they had that. That was that same when they had the 70% off credit or something like that. 70% credit.
Everybody in the gaming community took advantage of that.
I took about I kid you not, I took about 20 of my top games that I had physical, right? But I also had them on PC because there was a Steam sale that I had a while back. So I got the copies of this on PC as well. I took about 20 or 30 games. I walked in there, took those games, and with the markup of all those games and the 70%, I end up getting a Wii U and about 30 games off of those 20 PS4 games. It's like I straight robbed their asses.
Yeah.
That actually leads into another thing, because right now I'm like, obviously with digital games you can't necessarily trade them in,
right?
So when you're talking about, we are going in a direction where physical copies will be less and less until it's almost disappearing. It's almost like VHS back in the day.
Now
Betamaxes and stuff like that.
Now see, this is where I was getting at the price mark up for physical copies, because if they do go by the wayside and you don't see any physical copies, let's just say, I know people are not going to agree with this too much. Just say if Madden 2028 comes out.
Oh, they already disagree with you on that one,
right? Just say if a game like that comes out in the year 2028 and everything's digital at that point. But if a company decides to say, hey, we're going to give you a physical copy of this for the guys who like physical games, if that's $70, is that robbery?
Yes.
I don't think it is, because at that point, you're paying for rarity at that point.
I'm glad you already made it clear that people weren't going to like that decision, because
I know that.
My sponsor announcement earlier in the day.
But then again, you're talking to a guy who pays. You're talking to a guy who pays $100 plus, maybe $150 for certain Sega Saturn games in complete in box.
Hey.
So I mean,
but how much did you pay for all that though?
Pay for all what?
You said you're the same guy that's still, with the Sega Saturn and the boxes and stuff.
No, what I'm saying, like right now, there are games in my wish list on eBay that cost over $100, complete in box.
That's because it's on eBay.
But how else are you going to get it, DJ? How else
I'm
just saying, because what we're talking about was direct sales from like companies like GameStop, EB Games in Canada and stuff like that. Of course, eBay they're gonna upsell you.
CMAD, exactly.
Thank you, CMAD. Thank you.
It's simple.
Exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, a choice at $60 or $65, no more.
But maybe a little less. But that's your word.
I'm just being the voice of the consumer here.
No, that's
DJ. You, bro. DJ, I want you to understand. I bought a game. Matter of fact, I bought a game that y'all saw, that y'all heard me playing in the background before one of the podcast episodes. Pocky and Rocky for Super Nintendo. Go on eBay right now and see how much that game is. That game is very expensive. I paid a pretty
because eBay you can control the pricing individually.
No, it's not necessarily controlling the price. If you know anything about buying games, there's a market for this stuff.
Let me address
it's not just because some dude just say, hey, I'm gonna put it up at that price. There's a market for some of these games. Well, damn near most of these games.
Let me address Fife real quick. So he asked what the pro digital gamers are gonna do when online goes down and you can't play your digital copies. I'm sorry, I'm not a first world baby. I can find shit to do in my life. I don't have to play video games.
I get you, Bill. You're right, but
I'm not so I get what he's saying, but it's not the end of the world if I can't play my games for a couple hours because digitally I can't play my games. It's not the end of the world. And by then, also, if you're talking about Madden 2028, everybody's going to have that issue because I guarantee you these next consoles aren't even going to have disk drives. How about that?
Yeah, well, Xbox already taking advantage of that with their SAT edition?
I mean,
that's going to be completely
right.
digital.
That's what I'm saying. You have that issue. Now, with that being said, I don't have an issue with, let's say, the consoles being all digital. That's just I know where my cutoff point is when it comes to physical copies. I just know there are some people out there that are just going to be diehard for it. My thing is, I love physical copies. If it's not there, I'm not going to trip and cry about it. But if I always had the choice, I'll always go physical. Always.
The philosophy I went into the Xbox One PS4 generation with was simple. I have to be more selective with what games I buy, period. If I know I'm not going to be able to trade it in, I have to be selective with what games I'm going to buy. What kind of replayability is it going to have? Do extensive research before I buy it. If I know I'm going to play a 2K game year-round or NHL or one of those games like that, that's fine. If it's a story mode game that I know I'm only going to play through once, then I'm not going to buy it. And that's the philosophy that I've used. So I haven't been burned yet by this pro-digital, mindset.
And see, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons. That's what I do most of my gaming on. Like most of the games I have, they have very high replay value. That's why a lot of the games I talk about are expensive, the ones that I have, because they're not like one and dones. It's like a lot of these games I have like shooters and they're arcade type games where you can always go back and play again and again. Outside of Uncharted 3 is digital, so I don't know what to do if that goes away. I mean, Uncharted 3, once you beat it, it's done. You know what I mean?
Because my thing is, like, the way I think, I'm like, look, order 1888 or whatever the hell it is.
1886.
Yeah, 1886. I didn't buy it. Why? I knew I wasn't going to play it again. Right. I knew I wasn't. I don't care how cheap it is. It's a waste.
True. I waited until it got down to $5. Yeah,
Right.
it was like, damn.
See, I
I
got a physical copy of that for like it was like $7 when I got it.
And VF probably remembers, or one of y'all, you were like, "Yo, it's $5 today." I was like, "Oh, I'll pass."
That was me.
Yeah,
that's when I got it.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy it because that's the philosophy I have when it comes to digital games. Yeah, I know what games I'm gonna keep playing. I know what games I'm gonna play year round, and I know which ones I'm not.
I saw the writing on the wall with the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah.
When I saw how things were when you bought a physical game, you open it up, you don't get nothing but a disc. So I'm like, me personally, I'm not even going out my way to buy certain games on PS4 because it's not the same as when you bought that PlayStation 3 game or when you bought that PS2 game, when you bought the original Xbox. When you bought those games back then, you felt like you had a total package when you bought it home. Everything was in it. Now it's like, here's your like some games now on PS4, like Cuphead. You can go think you're gonna buy Cuphead on digital on physical. You open the damn case, it's a fucking code in there.
And see, here's the thing, and once again, this is how they've gone and tried to even dissuade people from buying physical copies. I told you it started with the DLC, and it was also the digital pre-order bonuses that you don't get with the physical copies.
Right.
There's another way that they try to dissuade you from, they dissuade you from getting a physical copy. I mean, look, Five, I'm not trying to tell you how to play. I mean, if you want a physical copy, that's fine. But I'm just saying, personally, I'm not that guy. I'm not.
Like I think at this point, like I said, with the PS4 and the Xbox One, you're going to see the next consoles. You're going to see it diminish even more. You don't get a instruction manual. You don't get a total package when you buy a game. It's going to get worse. That's another reason why I said if they did, like a company, let's say if Wolfenstein 4 or something like that, it could be all digital because at that point all games may be digital. But if they decide to give you a physical copy, I don't think it'll be a big deal if it's $70 because you don't get that anywhere else.
Well, here's another thing. Another reason I felt that buying physical copies was pointless was because even if I bought a physical copy, it still had to download onto the console, and I couldn't play it without putting the disc in. So
that's just how the console was built. That has nothing to do with actual physical copy.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is that's turned me further away from physical copies. The fact that I have to get a physical copy.
Like what you're saying, it's basically low key. It's basically low key digital either way.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, what's the point of me buying a physical copy? I can't play it without the disc. If I download Forza with the physical copy and take the physical copy out, it's going to ask for the disc. So what's the point in me getting one? That's the other than trade-in value. There's no point.
I think that, me and you differ from this, and I totally understand what you're saying. Me, like I said from the beginning of this discussion, I'm low key a collector. I love looking at my games on my wall. I love having that, copy. When I pull Marvel vs. Capcom 2 off the wall and I look at it, or like when I have, I posted it on Twitter, I posted it on Twitter, like when my friend, her kids come over or whatever, or like when I have other friends come over, they look at it and they be like, "Damn, you got a nice looking game room." Right. A lot of games they can look at stuff, and to me, it's a form of history. I'm gonna be like that guy that has the encyclopedias. Well, the game's going to be my encyclopedias. They're going to be up here. The year's going to be 2048. People going to be looking like, the hell is all this? I'm like, yo, these are what games used to look like back then. They're like, well, fuck this. I'm going to play my PlayStation 7 on my phone. Fuck what you're talking about.
Yo, and that's the crazy thing.
But I'm going to be that guy, though.
I completely see where you're coming from a collector standpoint. I completely understand.
Right.
My thing is, I just fell off that wagon once the Xbox One came out.
Yeah, I understand. And Pete is right. It's great to have, if you have a man cave or a game room, physical copies are great. I mean, what kind of man cave you got when you got all your games stored on the goddamn console? You got an empty damn room.
You're going to have pictures of yourself.
Nope. No. What you can have is called the study with books and stuff like that.
Who's studying at the age of 30-something years old, man? What are we doing?
Wait, you stop learning that, sir?
Hey, listen.
I will have a study. I'm not saying I'm gonna stop.
Books. I'm not saying I'm gonna
Learn
stop
about the
learning.
world.
I get what you're saying, but I'm not about to sit here and have like a book room. I'd rather have a game room.
So you're telling me that if you walked into your man cave and there was books on the fucking wall, you don't think it was cool that you pull a book off and like, yeah, I'm gonna read this today.
I ain't gonna say it won't be cool, but it'll be a little bit out of my element.
What do you
It's
mean?
something I wouldn't want to do.
You know how your voice sounded.
You realize that white people have been doing this for ages. You mean to tell me because
What you trying to say? You trying to say I
this
need
is out of your element? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, we can have studies too.
No,
Just
I'm
because
not
we're not
saying
making
that.
as much money as they are doesn't
No,
mean we
it's-
can't have
it's-
studies.
It's
I
not
can
that. I'm just not the type to sit there and I don't want to sit and just read all the time.
I can
just
hear.
don't.
That's
I can
typical
hear
from
it.
somebody from South Carolina.
Hey, DJ,
I'm
I
not
can
from
hear
South
it.
Carolina.
DJ, I can hear it in VF's voice. He's like fucking geeks. That's what he's probably thinking.
I'm not trying to do that, man. I've done it.
Nah,
Pretty much. I'm not trying to do it. This is
Now,
my.
if I did it, it would be with albums. It would be like
Technically,
See,
your
there you
game-
go. There you go.
But
And-
technically, with your collection, it's a study just with games. I'm using
That is
study with
true.
books.
That is true.
I'm like,
But I'm saying, yeah, I would do
So-
it with music albums or like comedy albums.
exactly.
Yeah.
We all have our particular interests. I rather have books. You rather have games, and Bill's rather have CDs.
And
There you
matter,
go.
no, I
No,
speaking
not
of that,
CDs. Fuck CDs. I'm talking albums. Like I get the
Vinyl.
record player out.
yeah, that's what. I was just talking. Me and my wife were just talking about that because my father-in-law, he has one that he doesn't even use, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to go over there and snatch that up from him and bring that up here on the other side of the room.
Okay,
And I was
I'm
gonna
about
buy
to
me a
put
few.
this-
I'm gonna buy me a few vinyls. I'm
Okay.
gonna be doing that as well.
Put them
Wait,
in the game.
okay.
There's no difference between the two. They're one and the same.
What's that?
It's
Study in the
what
man
you
cave.
find solitude in.
Wait.
If it's a gaming room, then that's
I'll put it
that's
like
your
this:
quote,
a
unquote
study is smaller than a man cave. That's the difference.
No, there's no particular size, restriction on this.
Let me address fight
It
real
is your
quick.
place where you go and you pretty much are to yourself. It's your
Let me-
alone time.
I
Time that you can,
Let me
can
address
understand
fight.
what you're saying, DJ. I can
especially
understand
in
that.
a particular room in the house. I'm like, you can spend family time every place else, but this is the one place. Where
So
it's
Fife
just you and you can
says-
concentrate on whatever. So man cave study, same thing.
What
So
you were
Fife
saying,
says-
Bills?
Fife says, I mean, Bills is my guy, but unfortunately, he's thinking like that. This is going to help gamers lose control over their purchases, control back to companies. So here's my thing. Here's my thing, Fife. So what you're basically making it out to be is you're saying that my thinking is gonna make Naughty Dog come and snatch $60 out of my pocket, out of my wallet, and put my wallet back in my pocket. That's basically what you're saying. Because what I'm saying is have more control over your purchases. What you're saying is have more control over the access to your games because it's a physical copy. What I'm saying is I don't need access to that digital copy because I can find something else to do. And what you're saying is because you're finding something else to do, the company has control over you.
No, I think what B5 is saying, the fact that it's digital is like the gamers who buy a digital copy do lose that. They lose that sense of what's mine is mine.
So he has a cell phone. Does that cell phone company not have control over when he can make calls and when he can't?
But the phone is his. He's paying for the service,
the
but the
phone
phone
is
is
He's
his.
paid. But here's the thing: you're paying for a service as soon as you buy that console.
That is true. But the thing is, if you constantly buy disc and you use that disc to play the game, nobody has no control over you putting that disc in and playing the game. If it's
They don't have
digital,
control over that. They definitely don't have control over that. But my point is, they're always going to have control regardless.
look, listen, I got.
They're not going to have control over you playing the game. But my point is, I'm just like, look, if I choose to play digital and digital's not working, I don't know how that's putting control in the company's hands because I say, oh, let me go take a walk. It's not working.
What B5 is saying is like you look at the situation with Drive Club. You look at Forza 1. Well, not Forza 1. You look at Forza 4 or Forza 3, where they literally took cars away from people who bought the game, the DLC, and didn't download it. They purchased that DLC and it's gone now because Grand Theft Auto. I know this is a little on a lower scale. Grand Theft Auto 4, they purchased the entire game, but due to licensing issues, some music was taken out of that game because of licensing issues. It's stuff like that. Like, look, yo, I paid for this. Now you're taking it away. So that's the aspect that he's talking about.
That part I can understand, but other than taking content out of the game, what else happens with a digital game and a physical game that are different?
With a physical copy, you don't have to worry about that.
No, but what I'm saying is, aside from losing content that you downloaded and they take out via update or whatever it is, what are you losing?
I mean, besides that, I mean, you're not losing anything outside of that.
So,
but I mean, but at the end of the day, if you have a situation like Drive Club, or there's some other games that was out not too long ago where they just stripped the game out of off the store, you can't buy it anymore, or if you bought it, the only way you need your Pacific console to download it, or in some cases you can't even do that. I think that's the side that he's talking about.
No, but I get what he's saying, but what I was saying to respond to that is I'm not going to give these companies that power the way he's making it out to be. Like, it's not going to be the end-all be-all.
You're right, but it's tough, though, because you don't know what game that will get pulled, though.
That's fine.
Nobody thought about Drive Club being pulled. You know what I mean? Nobody thought about Forza losing their cars. You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. You just have to be mindful, but you don't know what's going to happen. Especially with a game like Forza. Forza is a game that really don't need a yearly release or every other year release. The game itself can be a year-round a service game if it wanted to be. But they do it that way. But you never know, like 2 years down the road, that they pull something.
I feel you, but I mean, I can only speak from my personal experience. If other people want to sit and cry about it, then that's fine, but that's not what I do.
All right, I think we pretty much
got Porzingis left.
Yeah, no, I was saying we pretty much got the point of this. I think this was honestly this turned out to be a much better discussion than I thought it to be. Thank you everybody who did give feedback. That's what we're here for. Give you honest opinions.
Was really good. That was that chat interaction that I was looking for last week. So
let's get to the topic. Let's get to the topic that was sent to you.
Yeah. Before we get to Porzingis, thank you. Who was that? Chris Thomas.
I liked it on. Let me find it.
I retweeted it, but I want to get his name. Chris Thomas. Also, his Twitter is Jameis Thomas 22 on Twitter. Go out and follow him. He sent us a question for the podcast, and I think this is gonna give us a pretty good take on this. He asks, "Do you think Madden tournaments should have rules for banning glitches and exploits to balance the game and make the tournament more entertaining?" And also, he wants to know our top. He also wants to know what our top football games are all time in order. So let's talk about the tournaments first. Man, this is easy. Tournaments need to stop banning all that bullshit and just play straight up. There's no other way around it. It'll be entertaining. It'll be entertaining if it's football. The SFL, those guys who did the All Pro Football 2K8 league on their channel. Go check them out. They've done a fantastic job, and that is way more entertaining. Way more entertaining. Way more entertaining than this bullshit Madden out there.
Every week is making up new words.
Hey man.
Dictionary, I swear.
Hey man,
my girl was sitting there, was like, "Man, this person, you don't even know how to talk." I was like, "Damn." I was like, "Geez."
Entertainment, good. But like I said, the SFL is way more entertaining than these bullshit ass tournaments. So
I hope that becomes a hashtag. Hashtag entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah, hashtag. Let's make it happen.
We discussed it on PS4, bro.
But anyway, what are your thoughts about that question? I mean, that's a simple one.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely yes. You gotta get rid of all the things that these dudes basically study the game for. Instead of studying football, they study exploits, nano blitzes, bullshit like that. You got to take it out. And like I said, in my opinion, the game should be played on sim in the first place.
Yeah, like why would you have a tournament
happening in a football game? Like you remember when that dude said, "Well, I don't think that the CPU should be able to force me to fumble. Only the user should be able to force me to fumble."
So if if the computer controlled linebacker, let's just say if it was Jadeveon Clowney or Brian Cushion or JJ Watt, any of those guys, if the computer controlled person hits you, you don't think he should cause a fumble?
That's like saying in NBA 2K when I drive to the basket, if the user is not controlling Andre Drummond, he should just stand there like a dumbass and not try to block my shot.
Right.
Mm.
Right. Like,
These
well,
are the type of dudes you're dealing with.
like exactly. Like, well, since I'm playing off-ball defense, the computer shouldn't drive to the basket on the other CPU guy because he's not being controlled by a human.
Right.
See,
it's like what the hell?
what put him in the game just said was the angle I was going to come from. They're only taking advantage of what is already there.
Right.
So
look what Pete said.
I would
Pete
put
said
more focus.
Like Pete said, they're okay with AI getting pass rush though. Exactly. Makes no sense.
I would put you like this. I would rather them go in, which I doubt they're going to do, go in and fix to where there are and to minimize the exploits. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, in a tournament setting, I would definitely ban anybody at any moment an exploit was used. I'm like, don't matter what the intention was. I don't even care if it was on accident. If you use the exploit, you're gone. Simple as that.
I agree. And like I said, that's an easy one. They need to ban that stuff easy. I don't even know why they let it ride, but they call it entertainment. I promise you, if they just let these guys, if they make these guys play football, they're not like, oh, I'm not going to watch anymore. They're going to still watch. They're still going to watch. Top 5 football games of all time. DJ, you go first.
Oh God, really?
I did my list already. I was gonna say I could go first if y'all need time.
I didn't even have a list.
If y'all need time, I can go.
No, go ahead. I got mine already. But
ahead, I can go ahead. Let's see. Number 1, Tecmo Super Bowl.
Okay.
It was also the same year the Redskins won the Super Bowl, so that was the best football game I've ever played. Number 2, I would say number 2. He's at top 5, really?
Top 5.
Some people are sitting here right now just anxious to hear what this second one's going to be because they already thought the first one was going to be a certain title. So
I would say number 2 was All Pro Football 2K8.
Okay.
Because the one thing that no game has figured out is to do formation shifts.
Yeah.
Because there was a certain gamer that I played against online that he called timeout on the first play because I used the formation shift on him. And I proceeded to beat his ass for the rest of the game with a no-name running back. But anyway.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't know what a cover 3 is.
Yeah, I made sure
I had no idea.
That.
Pooh, that's actually a good question. I have to think about that too. All time.
That's for next week. That's good. That's for next week. That's way too much.
All right, so that was number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I would say Madden 08. Not the next gen version of it.
I'm about to say the PS2 version.
The PC version of it.
PC version, okay.
Because I have the PC version of it. That's the best Madden I felt like I've ever played.
People
still had the vision cone and stuff like that.
Yeah, people don't realize how good that game really is.
Okay, so number 4 is ESPN 2K5. Only thing I had an issue with that was the AI trading logic. Like I said, Peyton Manning would get traded like a Fifth Street hooker every single week.
Oh, really?
So the trading AI was buns in that game. So, and then number 5. I would say Joe Montana Sports Talk Football 2. That was the only Joe Montana game that I thought was ahead of his time because you had consistent commentary. And
I thought you was about to say something else.
What the other? God. No. I ain't talking about that piece of bullshit as
you just get your disc
Tennessee and
I was about to say you get your disc
game
filled on and shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but Sports Talk Football 2 was my favorite.
That was a good one.
So I scratched together my top 5 on the spot without making a list. Okay, your guys' turn.
Bills, go ahead.
Put him. That's a cop out. You're gonna have to pick. You can't just say most of. Nah, come on. All right. So number 1, I have NFL 2K5. I've been playing that game so much the past couple of days. It's an amazing game. I finally figured out my sliders and Funny enough, the computer actually plays better coverage with the coverage at 0. Kind of weird. Don't put your side on 0. They'll play like complete idiots.
Yeah.
But, NFL 2K5 definitely is number 1. Presentation, everything still stands up. Number 2, Madden 04. Everybody knows how much I love Madden 04. The run animations have never been better as far as just like straight line running animations.
That low key, nobody knows how good the passing is in that game either.
The pass trajectories in that game are amazing. The tackling is really nice considering there's not really a hit stick. The tackling is really nice. The animations are nice. The stiff arm, when you can really time it,
that stiff arm is really good.
Stiff arms.
Yeah.
Franchise was amazing. They had the tour bus going around the country, training you on how to play the game. Just amazing. Number 3.
That also had John Madden commentary in the training too.
Yes, it did. And also practice uniforms, another thing.
Yep.
Number 3, NCAA 06. God, that game was just absolutely amazing.
Another good one.
One of the best soundtracks of all time, in my opinion.
Tony Bruno.
Yep.
No, Bruno. Yeah, Bruno was on it. Yeah.
Was it?
Bruno was in 06.
No. NCAA 06.
He was NCAA. He was in Madden 06.
He was on Madden 5.
Yeah, my bad. He was in 05 and 06. He was in 05 and 06.
But yeah, NCAA 06 had one of the best music soundtracks of all time. The gameplay was amazing, especially when you had impact players where they first kind of started to make players stick out. You know, you had like Reggie Bush or somebody like that. Sometimes the camera would slow down and they just do this crazy juke and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. The career mode was amazing. That was like the first taste we got of Road to Glory, so that was great. Just amazing stuff there. Number 4, I have All Pro 2K8. I still think that's the best line play we've seen. The differentiation of star players to no star players is amazing. The passing is the best it's ever been. God, actually overpowered a lot of times. And number 5 is going to piss a lot of people off, and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say Madden 19 with an asterisk. I'm going to put August for Madden 19.
August.
After August, you lost me. But in August, it was a top 5 game to me. So
yeah, RPM, blockers doing what they're supposed to do. No crazy messing, crazy glitches with the catching or everything. Everything was good. I agree. Mine, easily, NFL 2K5 is number 1. Easily. Number 2, man, I would say NCAA Football 08 on the original Xbox.
You keep telling me about that.
That game is good. Ask Pooh. Pooh bought it not too long ago.
It's not backwards compatible though, is it?
No, it's not. But that game is great. 06 is nice. Don't get me wrong. 08 took it to another level because they had little extra features as far as the spring game and you can develop players a little differently. They also had where you can you had the not only the highlight stick and you had the evade stick when you were in the pocket.
Yep.
So it was a little more enhanced in 06. Number 3 for me is Joe Montana Football, the first one on the Genesis. Another great game. Number 4 will probably be Tecmo Bowl, the first one on the NES. With the one where Bo Jackson was going crazy. And the last one is going to be really close between Madden 25 and All Pro Football, but I'm going to give All Pro Football the nod because Madden 25, as good as I thought that game was, the only thing that really shined with that game was the running game, and All Pro Football is just more of a complete package on the field.
Now, I'm not going to lie. I do have an honorable mention, and my honorable mention that I forgot, it just popped in my head. Madden 03.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Madden 03 was exceptional. Madden 05 was good. Hit stick was a bit OP for the first year. But I guess Madden 07 was the perfect balance. That's the year that they balanced out, the hit stick versus the truck stick. So.
Yeah.
All those are.
Yeah, my honorable mention is easily NCAA 14.
Oh, damn! I forgot about that one.
That's my honorable mention.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's another good game that nobody. I can say nobody talks about, but people still have fond memories of.
Yes,
definitely. What about you, DJ? You got an honorable?
Yeah, I do. It's 10-yard fight.
Oh man, boy, you took it back. Yeah,
That was the first football game that was coherent enough to play. Of course, there were other games before that on the Atari and whatever Commodore 64 that I played, but 10-Yard Fight was the first. That was the first game you could throw a full length
100-yard
pass.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I remember playing 10-Yard Fight because I had it on the NES, and that was the first game that I actually felt that you was putting together a drive when you were going downfield.
Well,
not me. I was throwing full length passes. That was the first game you could drop back like 20 yards and throw it full length.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I was thinking more so simulation game, so I didn't put NFL Street. I would say NFL Street would be on my list if I made like a list of arcade sports games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this: if anybody puts Game Day in their top 5 or top 10, top 20, top 100, whatever, you're garbage.
I see one that's already is egregious. Talking about Madden 2000.
Hold on.
Madden 2000 was not.
Hold on. Which Madden 2000 was it? The one on the? Is it the one on the PlayStation 1 or the one on N64?
What about the one on PC?
I didn't play.
Because I had the one for PC.
I didn't play the one. I played the one on N64, and that one wasn't too bad. Right? I don't know.
The one on 64 was garbage.
And the way on the
no.
Much better than
the N64 one was actually pretty good.
I didn't like the 64 version.
Well, let's talk about Madden 08 on the 360 for a second.
Underrated.
Now, my only issue, well, there's a couple issues. My main issue with Madden 08 on 360 was the pass trajectories were awful. Just absolutely awful. I mean, the pass trajectories were just really bad. The second issue I had was the difficulty spike when you started cooking the computer was ridiculous. They didn't like that. But the hit stick was perfect on that game. I mean, you're talking high hits, low hits.
Yeah, and the running back evade when you try to break tackles.
Oh yeah, yep. If you push the right stick up and he's not power back, he'll try
to evade him.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, that was
the system and everything. Everybody was buff as hell in that game, which was kind of an eyesore, but
yeah, it's like everybody upper body was like everybody bench pressed like 400 or something like that.
Randy Moss like he did a hard time for hitting that traffic officer that he hit when he was drunk.
Right.
NFL
04 is the best FIFA game easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
NFL Fever still has features that need to be in other games now.
Honestly, the lead block function wasn't bad. It's just I guess there weren't many people who really.
The problem with the lead block, the lead block was not. They had a tutorial for it, but it wasn't as good enough for people to catch on and use it because they still have it on Madden 08 for the original Xbox, and I still play that game. And every now and then I use it. Depends on if I need a couple yards or whatever. But you have to really learn it because you have to do like a button combination for it to work, and then go back to use your running back to go to daylight. You know.
Let me tell you something. You needed a lead block feature in Madden 15 because the damn blocking was ass in that game.
Oh my God!
You needed a lead blocker in that game.
Let's not talk about that because some game changers told me I need to get rid of my game because I didn't know what I was doing.
It's like you need to get good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
And halfback.
Bills,
the opposite side of the line.
Bills, how could you get good when your fullback literally turns back and face you?
Your fullback turns around and says, "Nah, fam, I'm with them." What are you talking about?
Right, seriously. Anyway, hey, that's another good topic. Thank you, Jay Thomas, for
Chris.
that. Yep.
Call him Chris.
Well, I call him James Thomas. That's his Twitter. I'm sorry.
I want James home and think about stealing crab legs and grabbing females by the pussy in the back.
Oh, he's a Bucks fan too.
Oh,
God, he is.
Yeah, he's a Bucks fan too.
Yeah, that's why D-Jax had to get out of there. You see the picture that he was right there when he did that whole little crab legs thing.
No, when
D-Jax is looking at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah, D-Jax knew it was time to go.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, he knew it was time to go. He was trying to eat that W. He was like, yeah, it's time to go.
And they lost that game, didn't they?
Yep, eliminated from the playoffs that same day.
Nah, Puso, both of those topics are really good, but we'll probably have to get them next week because we still got the Porzingis. So.
Yeah, we're gonna touch Porzingis and we're gonna get out of here because
I'll make sure to remember those. I'll write them down.
Yeah, and also baseball games, basketball games, soccer games. I think we should do that some more time down the road because that was another good topic. We really appreciate it. Porzingis, torn ACL. Same night, he wanted him some ass. What do y'all think? So
that was a perfect intro, by the way. That
was amazing.
Said it. That was classic.
On the same night he wanted some ass.
Yeah. So what y'all think? You think he did it?
Hell no.
No, I don't think he did it.
Asking for money from the Knicks, like, I won't say nothing. You pay me about, I don't know, 65.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, get out of here.
Okay. The amount. Okay, first of all, this chick was asking for what 68,000?
68,000.
And then on top of that, wanted him to pay for her brother's tuition. That's extortion.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the whole story. Now, what happened now?
All right, so basically what happened was after this so-called incident happened, she basically was asking for hush money. They didn't offer her hush money. She was asking for a hush money.
Oh, wow.
Plus for them to pay for her brother's tuition. Like, get out of here. How is a man with a torn ACL gonna abuse a perfectly mobile female? What did he drug you? Seriously, this is gonna disappear like very soon, and I can tell because the Knicks already knew about it, the NBA already knew about it. They knew about it way ahead of time. We haven't heard anything about it until now, but they clearly weren't worried about it. So why should we be?
Nah, I think it's bullshit. When I heard about it, like if he did it in, okay, we have to investigate. But when I found out it was the same night he tore his ACL, now get out of here. Even if it was any time after he tore his ACL, it just don't sound right because you can't get around with a torn ACL. You're not even able to. No.
It's like the women who claim that Stevie Wonder abused them. You're telling me a blind man was beating the hell out of you?
Right. But that's another thing. Dog, I think Bootsy said it the best when they were talking about the R. Kelly case. These celebrities ain't trying to. They're not taking sex from these women.
No.
They're not doing it. No. They have situations where women will throw themselves at basketball players, rappers, entertainers, celebrities. They will throw their body at them. Exactly. They will throw their body at these celebrities. They got to the point where some of these celebrities got to make these women go away. So they ain't trying to take none. They got to make it go away sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't believe it. Even without the torn ACL, it's like, nah, I don't believe it. I don't. Then when y'all say about the thing about him, is she trying to extort him? It's bullshit. I don't get it. Nah, that's trash.
Now here's the thing. I'm sitting there. I pulled up an article because I didn't bother to pull up an article beforehand, but I'm looking at the article now. Now, the headlines are telling you it was a black woman that's accusing him of rape, and for the fact that she was called a slave and a bitch. As he beat and raped her. So the way I can see it from the fact that, she's asking for this hush money, I can see this being like a role-playing type deal. This is just logically speaking.
No telling nowadays
ties behind rape and all that, but I'm looking at this and it's just like he tied her down, like physically. I know he's an imposing figure. He's 7'3", but also like Bills was saying, it was the same night he injured his knee. I don't think he can do much.
I'm trying to figure out now. I'm sorry. I don't know Kristaps Porzingis personally.
Yeah, I don't either.
But does he even come across as somebody who would begin to engage in this activity?
No.
And it's now something. Like, if she just said that he had, raped her and didn't add that part in just to kind of, like, really drive home the point, then I might be like, okay, I'll wait and see. But it has to be with the racial bullshit. He just had to call you a slave, right?
He's from overseas, right?
He's like, I don't know what he is.
Would he? He's not from America.
No,
he's Latvian.
Yeah, but with that being said, would he really have the knowledge to know the racial tensions of this country like that?
No. You know what? I can't really.
I'm just asking. I'm just
rule it in.
Huh?
I'm like, I wouldn't exclude him from knowing the rate. Like, even if there wasn't any racial tensions, just the history.
I mean, but him knowing is one thing, but him to use that type of tone towards a woman like that, you would hear that from, you know, your white supremacists or you know, stuff like. I mean, I'm not saying that he wouldn't do it, but just we don't know him like Bill said. We don't know him like that, but it just sounds kind of odd.
Okay, now
from a guy from overseas to say something like that.
Here's another issue that I have. Okay, now the night that Kristaps Porzingis tore his ACL, they found out pretty soon that he tore his ACL, which means he was at the hospital for a good portion of that night.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How could he be in two places at one time?
He's 7'3".
Yeah,
he's 7'3".
What time in the night did he have to do that?
I don't.
Who was not supervising their best player with a torn ACL?
Right.
See, and that's the thing that, you know, that's a good point, because you look at an example of stuff that's falling apart. We look at the Neverland documentary.
Oh, that's another thing. Yeah,
making that kid fall apart.
I saw that earlier.
Right.
I saw that earlier. Like, they said that the kid could not have been there at the time he said he was, or something like that.
Yeah, because the thing they said he described wasn't even in existence when he.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all right, I got one more thing before we go. I got an article. I'm pretty sure everybody has seen it before, but this is a good story that, you know, we don't see much of. You probably won't see it on a daily basis. But I thought this was really cool. I think Pooh sent this to me earlier this week or yesterday or something like that.
Oh boy.
No, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff, honestly. This one here is about the 13-year-old boy who traded his Xbox and did some yard work so he could buy his mom a car. And the lady actually agreed to give him this car for his mom because for the Xbox. I thought this was pretty neat. I think this is signs of a lot of things to come with this kid. I think this is showing some sort of maturity. I actually think this is something that he'll grow to know that the value of certain things to be a better person. I think this is pretty cool. What's your thoughts about this?
Well, I can only see part of this article. Do you have a link to it? It's right there.
You need it? I got it. Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yeah, because I want to read further into that.
Yeah,
I'm like, on the surface it's very, you know, big of him, mature of him, ahead of his years. It's like, I can't even produce a joke. I can't even produce anything. But seriously, you know, that's cool. That's a cool thing to hear, because you rarely hear about what kids do with stuff that normally kids would kill their parents over.
Yeah, exactly. You take away the internet from certain kids, they're ready to shoot up
and these kids react like you touched them in the wrong place, and they will kill you over just taking their items. I'm glad that he's showing that he's not materialistic like most of these kids tend to be. You take their cell phone away in a classroom, all of a sudden they want to fight you.
Right.
Okay, first off, Pete. First off, you're wrong. All right. They're not going to give you money for a controller. They're going to give you money for one battery that fits in an Xbox controller.
No, but put them in the game. I could not find out what kind of Xboxes it was. If I want to guess, I would probably think it's an Xbox One. But I that's my guess, but I don't know. It doesn't say. But I thought this was really cool. That's one I wanted to share. But if he sent that Xbox to GameStop, they'll probably give him like $4 in a button.
Give him a
button. Wait. Are we talking a button off a controller or a button off a sweater?
No, a button off of a sweater.
The first thing that I thought about was when somebody reaches in their pocket and they don't got no money, and all they pull out is a fucking button, and you're like, where does damn button come from?
A button or like what is it, lint?
Yeah.
Wait, some lint and a button,
right?
And a paper clip,
right? A paper clip.
Oh my god!
And then that's store credit. And if you want actual cash, they give you $225. Shit crazy.
Oh, so one more thing about this Porzingis. So I happened to just dig and find an article from the night that he tore his ACL. They actually announced before the game was over that he tore his ACL. So that night he knew he had a torn ACL. I'm not buying anything she says.
I mean, even if it was a torn ACL or not, if it happened the same night, just say if it happened nights later, dog. If you got a torn ACL, you're not really be able to move around for at least 5 months at the minimum. You're not gonna be able to move around like that.
Just the amount that she asked for,
right?
$68,000. That's it.
Trust me.
You got people out here asking for like millions and millions of dollars, and he's good for it. And you're asking for $68,000 and tuition for your brother?
Probably on crack.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man.
Anyway, anything else y'all got before we close it out, man?
Oh, Jesus.
Y'all
She's
good?
Probably on crack.
Yeah, because we're approaching an hour and a half mark, and I know how.
I got one more thing. Fuck Karl Malone.
Oh, here we go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Also, I actually want to give a shout out to CMAD.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because he definitely went to bat in questioning a certain company's business practices, and he was rewarded with the block.
Yo, he took it like 20 steps further than we did in our episode. It's like,
great job.
IMV Gaming is like just eviscerated on Twitter. Exactly. He buried IMV Gaming. We're sitting here looking for addresses and where they're setting up shop. This dude found out they're not even publicly traded, and they don't have the trademark for some of the shit they're supposed to have.
Exactly. Great job.
And then after that, he got blocked, and they changed their entire Twitter setup. No, that whole Twitter setup changed, and CMAG got blocked.
That's wild.
This is first. Oh, what you about to say?
No, I was like, that is just and that's what consumers need to do. They need to understand that, the information is out there, and to know what they're trying to get ready to invest in. And it's just like, you can't just take things on the surface anymore. And like I said, and with CMAD, I'm glad he was able to do all that, because I know he had asked you guys, like, who was the guy that couldn't find him. I was like, I was the person that was like, initially I couldn't find anything more than what I was looking for. And it was funny because I was looking for LLC acknowledgments and stuff like that. And to tell you the truth, you actually confirmed what I didn't find, because if they had one, I would have.
Yeah. So he took it way from, and me, I wasn't even thinking on that level, and he just took it there. And I'm like, yo, bravo, yo, straight up.
Yeah.
Because these people need to know what's going on. I mean, they take money. They took money for so many people. It's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But this is First and Framerates episode 61. Once again, follow all of us on Twitter. Me, VF Baller, Bill's 4th DJ is DJ81. DJ also put out a video. Put that link in the description so people go check it out, and also check out his content. I'm going to put up a video later on talking about physical and digital. I still have not done that video yet, but I thought about doing it earlier this week, but I got sick, so I'm gonna do it, and I really want to talk about that, go more in depth with that. Catch us on iTunes and SoundCloud as well, and share the podcast with anybody and everybody. Viewership is slightly down this week, but we love the feedback that we got. I didn't think the GameStop topic was going to be that good, but it turned out to be very, very good. We really appreciate all the feedback. Once again, iTunes, SoundCloud, let everybody know what we're doing here, and just going to continue to keep pushing. I hope you guys enjoyed. What you got, Bills?
Pooh, don't even bring up Gedden with his old fake Sinbad house guest looking ass. Nobody cares about him. All right, his hairline didn't care about him. That's why the Joe Montana producer didn't care about him. IMV Gaming doesn't care about him. They won't even send him a free bean pie in the mail. So nobody cares about him. All right,
he's waiting for the next breakdown video.
Shit, somebody needs a breakdown to cover 3 for him.
Oh, wow. DJ, what you got, man?
Hashtag entertainment.
Entertainment.
Also, a kind word to our
Entertainment.
sponsors.
Ass. EA stick. It's in your ass.
Oh my,
What?
oh my god.
Gotta pay the bill somehow.
Entertainment.
Entertainment. That's what I said. Entertainment.
That's
Jesus.
hashtag entertainment.
All right, y'all. Y'all be good. Next Wednesday, we'll be back with more topics, man. Like I said, share the podcast. All the links in the description. Check us out. Follow us. Let people know what we're doing. You guys take it easy. Peace.
Peace.